I'm Patti Browne, and you are in the strategy room. Kentucky is getting its second Republican governor in 40 years. Tea Party favorite Matt Bevin, a 48-year-old businessman who's never held public office, won the gubernatorial race against Attorney General Jack Conway in Tuesday's off-year election. Here's a bit from his acceptance speech.
Because this is the opportunity for Kentucky to be a beacon to the nation, the values that we hold, the principles that we hold, the work ethic that we hold, the high road that we will take. This will change the tenor of what happens in the 2016 race.
And Bevin's victory is being noticed nationwide. He ran as an outsider, as are some candidates for the GOP presidential nomination. So joining us now with analysis, our political strategist, Democrat Joe Lestingi, Republican Amos Snead. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Matt Bevin, 48, never held public office. He's an investment manager. His campaign was self-funded. He's vowing to give Kentucky a fresh start. Amos, is his win a sign of what's to come for next year's elections?
I think it's absolutely a sign of what's to come, because if you look at Kentucky, I mean, you just see how red Kentucky is, just ruby conservative red right now. And I think that's a direct result of the Obama administration and the EPA regulations, especially the EPA regulations on coal and the jobs that it kills throughout the state. I think this was a statement that we'll continue to see made throughout the rest of this election season.
Joe, what do you say? Is this a bigger indication?
Kentucky is the Republican Illinois. It's a state that we, for example, Illinois is a Democratic state by all standards, except we keep losing that governor's race. And then Kentucky, by all standards, should be very Republican, and they just now got the governor's office. But look down the ballot. Allison Lundgren Grimes, who lost badly last year, she won her race. We still have the AG's race there that we won. I mean, it's a state that the Republicans just can't seem to get into like the Tennessee category where it's just all Republican.
Right.
So I don't think this is an indication of anything. Kentucky will vote for the Republican nominee for president. What I do think this might point to, though, to give Amos some credit on this, is the primary and this outsider messaging that seems to be working with Republicans. Because Republican turnout for that race was really good. So maybe when we're talking about these presidential nominees, they can see this in action now as an effective messaging for them when they roll into Iowa.
All right, Amos, this now means the executive branch and Kentucky State Senate are controlled by Republicans, but the State House still controlled by Democrats. In fact, it is the only state legislative body in the South controlled by Democrats. What do you say Bevin's win means for Kentucky?
Well, it means a lot for Kentucky, but I think the real winner last night is Senator Rand Paul. You know, this was supposed to be someone who could threaten him, but instead he's looking back and seeing how conservative his state has become, and his Senate seat is safe, and he'll continue to stay on the presidential campaign trail and not worry about losing that Senate seat. So I think Rand Paul, if you look at it, is the real big winner from last night.
Interesting. So Bevin promised to scale back the Medicaid expansion prompted by Obamacare, also the state-run health insurance exchange. Joe, do you expect him to succeed with those initiatives?
I think he's going to push real hard for it. I don't think he'll succeed. Obviously, I think the House is going to stop it. And Kentucky Connect, which is their program, is wildly popular there. But during the campaign, they didn't refer to it as that. It was called Obama Connect, and they used Obama's name a lot to help to gin up the negatives on that. But Kentucky Connect does provide a lot of services there. If he does that, people are going to start coming off rolls. And when people come off rolls, they get angry because then they're looking and struggling to find health care. So I don't think he's going to be successful in actually rolling it back. I think it's a lot of rhetoric. I think they're going to push for it, but it's not going to happen.
Amos, what do you think?
Hey, it's just nice to actually see a Republican win the messaging battle for one shot. I think, you know, if you look at Kentucky Connect and how popular that is, and then compare it to how unpopular, and I'll go back to it, the EPA regulations are in that state of what coal means to Kentucky. I mean, I do think this is a bellwether for the rest of the South, and, you know, they're calling it the SEC primary, so we'll continue to see how this goes.
All right. Joe and Amos, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And you can check out foxnews.com for more on Kentucky's gubernatorial race. I'm Patti Browne. Thanks for watching.